Hey guys, so we are doing transformation compositions today, and I will get more into what that means, but we're going to first do a little review over rotations. So if I'm rotating something 90 degrees, I'm going to rotate it so this one first rotates about the origin. Okay, that's important because here's my origin. It's super easy to rotate 90 degrees. So if I'm rotating 90 degrees about my origin, I'm going to rotate so it's there. So I'm going to turn my paper until it looks like that image, like the place I'm trying to move it to, looks exactly the same. So I'm going to rotate my paper until that square is in the same square. So now I'm going to plot A at -5, 7. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So here is A prime. And if you look now, A prime is now at -7, -5. Now I'm going to plot -3, 3. So -1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Here's B prime, which if you look is now at -3, -3. And then I'm going to do C. So C is at -7. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then at +3, 1, 2, 3. This is C prime. And this is at the point -3, -7. So now there's my new thing when rotating 90 degrees about the origin. I'm going to do exactly the same thing, but now my point of rotation is going to be point P, which is this point right here. That's what I'm going to rotate around. And I'm going to rotate 180 degrees around this point. So I'm going to take, first I'm going to draw my new axes through my point P. Okay, so now I'm going to rotate 180 degrees. So I'm going to take this image and I'm going to rotate it. So it rotates once, then twice. That'll mostly be in this quadrant here. Okay, so now I'm going to flip my paper so it's completely upside down. And I want to create the same image, but over here. So I'm going to take my B, I'm going to rotate it. So originally, according to this picture, it was left 2, down 1. So now I'm going to go left 2, down 1. Here's my B double prime. Now I'm going to switch colors because that's super hard to see. I'm going to switch to that weird magenta red. Okay, and then the C was originally left 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, down 1. So now I'm going to go left 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, down 1. Now, if you watched the video yesterday, you will know that I am literally writing the direction that my paper is. So this is upside right to me, what I'm writing right now. So 1, 2, 3, 4, left 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and then up 1, 2, 3. I went the wrong way for these. Oh, dang it. Where's my undo button? There. I just realized I went up 1 instead of down 1. So this should be 1, 2, down 1, 1, 2, down 1. Here's B double prime. And then C is 6, down 1. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, down 1. Here's C double prime. Okay, then A is 1, 2, 3, 4, up 1, 2, 3. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. Here's A double prime. So here is my second triangle. And this is the first one. Okay, and these new points, I'm going to have to flip it upside right to see. A is now at the point 3, 1. B is at the point 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And C is at the point 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5, 5. Okay. I literally flipped my computer upside down. So A double prime is at 3, 1. B double prime is at 1, 5. And C double prime is at 5, 5. All right. Hopefully that made sense. If not, you've got some reviewing to do. Literally flipping your paper helps this so much. So if you were not drawing this on paper and then rotating it, you probably want to. All right, so right here, we're talking about isometry. So isometry means the same distance. It's a transformation that preserves distances or lengths. So in other words, it just keeps things congruent. So translations, reflections, and rotations are all isometries. So there are only 4 kinds of isometries. There's a translation where you move it. There's a rotation where you rotate it about a single point, and a reflection where you reflect or flip over a line. Now, there's another one called a glide reflection. We'll be talking about this. It's when you move it and then flip it over. That's all it is. You move it and then flip it over. And we'll be talking about that in a second. So we're going to start with reflections. What happens if we reflect something twice? So a composition of reflections, meaning you do 2 reflections in a row. So the first composition you're going to do first is you would flip it over the line N. So that's what it did. They flipped this over line N. So B is the same distance from N than it was. C is the same distance from N that it was. A is the same distance from N. And then they took it and flipped it again over line N. So they did this first. And then they did this second. Okay? Does that make sense? And it all just becomes a translation. It slid here to there. It just slid. That's it. That's all that happened. So 2 reflections become a translation. So if we do 2 reflections here, so this is originally this far away. So we're going to do the exact same thing in the other direction. So let's see. That's that long. That's that long. So it should be about here. As you can see, my drawing is flawless. All right, so there's my reflection over N. And then my reflection over M needs to be the same. So it's that far. So I need to be that far again. That's a little too far. That's a little better. So then we're going to have it look like, obviously flawless. It's not flawless. So this is my rotation over N. So we did this first, and then we rotated over M. So we rotated over N. We reflected over N. The big R means reflect. So we reflected over N, and we ended up in the middle. And then we reflected over M, and we ended up on the bottom. And now it just looks like we took off and we slid it down. All right. If you haven't tried one on your own, try this one. No, you're perfect. You don't have to have perfect things. All right. So I'm going to try this one. So we've got M, and it's only like that far away. So we need to stay that far away. Obviously, my M is perfect. Shush your face. Okay. There's my M, and I flipped it over line N because it said to reflect over line N first. So now we're going to reflect over line M. So now this one is very far from there. So now we need to be very far from there. All right. So we should look like this. Obviously, perfect. Shush. My drawing skills are struggling, but you'll get the idea. We flipped it once, we flipped it a second time. It ended up really far away, but it's just a translation. We just took this M and slid it over there. Obviously, they are the same. A glide reflection. So like two reflections become a translation. And we'll talk about 2 rotations in a second, but we're going to talk about this. So it's a glide reflection. A glide reflection is a composition of translation or a movement and a reflection across a line. So we take this and we move it here. So we slid it. And let me make that one a little more clear because it's super hard to see. So A is just here, C is just here, B is just here. And we slid it down 7 because it said move nothing in the X direction, move down 7. Then they flipped it. So now, if you notice, B is now here. C is now way over here. Okay, we reflected over the y-axis. So if you notice, you always do the one closer to the letters first. So this one was first, then this was second. Okay? All right, let's see what happens here. So we're going to reflect across the x-axis. So I'm going to highlight my x-axis, and we're going to do that last. But the first thing we're going to do is we're going to move everything 8 right. So this moves 8 right, and then it's up and down nothing. So we're going to take 8A, and we're going to move it 8 right. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Here is now A prime. Then we're going to move C8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Here's C prime. And then B is going to move 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Here's B prime. So everything moved 8 right. Now we just need to flip it over the line. So originally it was up 1, 2, 3 from the line. So now I want to go down 3 from the line. 1, 2, 3. Here is C prime. Then B was up 3 from the line. So I want to go down 3 from the line. So here's B prime. A is up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 from the line. So we need to go down 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Technically that's C double prime and B double prime. This will be A double prime. And there is my final masterpiece. So ultimately my goal is to get this. So on your test, it only wants that last one. All right, let's try it again. So this time we're going to translate it by, what does this one mean? Move left and right 0, that's correct. What does the negative 8 mean? Down 8. Perfect. All right, we're going to do that first because it's closest to the thing. So we're going to move everything down 8. So I'm going to take C and move it down 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Then A, I'm going to move it down 8. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So here's C prime, A prime, and then this will be B prime. I knew B and C were in line with each other, so that's why it was easy to move it down. Okay, so there's that first translation. Now we're going to do this reflection across the y-axis. So now we're reflecting across here. Okay, so we're going to take this and we're going to reflect. So originally we're 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 away. So we're 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 away. So this will be A double prime. And then B is only 3 away. So 1, 2, 3 away. Here's B double prime. And then C is 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 away. So then this will be C double prime. And here is, I feel like my C is too far. Oh, it is. It should be right there. And this is the final shape. This is the one I want. All right. Okay, now if we do 2 reflections across intersecting lines, so it's a similar idea, just slightly different. So if we take something and we reflect it twice across 2 intersecting lines, watch what happens. So we knew what happened with parallel lines. They just became a translation. But if we reflect twice across intersecting lines, A goes to A, and then when A goes to A, that's just a rotation. That's kind of cool. All right, so let's try it here. Well, obviously, it's going to be super easy for me to try it because it's already there. So this one first tells me to rotate across K. So I rotate across K. And I end up there because I was this far away from K. Oh, sorry. I was this far away from K, and now you're this far away from K. It's the exact same distance. Okay, and now you're going to do the same thing with N. So this is this far, and then this will be the same distance. And now you just rotated all the way around, and it tells you right here it's 260 degrees around point Q. Okay, so let's try this one together. Oh, it even tells me that's 110 degrees. That's so nice. All right, so we're going to rotate across N first because the N's the closest one to T. So we start this, oh, sorry. Nope. Hold on. I'm sorry. I have to do some little bit of work. So that's how far T is. So then we're going to do the exact same thing. We're going to create the same line. We're going to reflect. So we want to come out at the same angle that we hit it. Aha, that's what it is. Oh, you suck at this, guys. It's fine. Obviously flawless. Struggles are real. And then we're going to take this and we're going to push it this way. And it'll reflect off at the same angle that we hit it at. And then there's a T. Obviously flawless. Now it's a rotation of 120 degrees. This is easier when you have tools like the internet. All right, so we just focused on compositions of different things. So we can do 2 reflections in a row, and we can do a translation, so a movement followed by a reflection. I mean, yeah. And then there's other stuff, like you could do 2 rotations, or we could do a rotation followed by reflection. There's all sorts of stuff that we can do.